Hello and welcome. You're tuned in to Embodied Astrology, and my name is Renee Sills. I'm a consulting astrologer and somatic educator, and I'm here to offer Virgo season ahead horoscopes for your sun, moon, and rising signs. Virgo season extends from August 22nd to September 22nd in 2024. Regardless of your sun, moon, or rising sign, you also have Virgo in your chart. In this season's readings, I'll be focusing on how the astrological influences of Virgo season resonate for your sign, and how you can tune in best with this season's influences and needs. These horoscopes are focused on you, and in order to deliver what I feel are the clearest messages, for the most part, I don't get overly detailed about astrological specifics. If you want more information on what transits, aspects, and retrogrades are doing this season, and if you're interested in my take on what this means for our larger world and current events, make sure to take a listen to my Virgo season ahead overview, where I break down this season's astrology in detail and offer interpretation and intuition for working with it on personal and collective levels. Over the course of Virgo season, I and the team here at Embodied Astrology have a number of offerings that resonate with Virgo's needs of practicality, healing, and service to the larger whole. Practically, astrology is a great tool for timing and strategy. And historically, it has been used by leaders in all spheres to take advantage of opportunity and work skillfully with challenge. As you're probably well aware, there are lots of challenges in our world right now that need skillful approaches in order to heal and tend the needs of the greater good. In service of these aims, Embodied Astrology is hosting a participatory astrological research group where we're exploring critical areas in need of activism and developing timing strategies for activists and organizers to tune in with the greatest efficacy and change between now and 2050. In Virgo season, our research group will be meeting twice, on September 12th and 14th, and we would love to have you there. On a personal level, bringing our best to the needs of the times is never always easy, and working through challenges is part of what builds our competency, maturity, creativity, and resilience. This year, our team member Sherry Taylor is diving deep into one of the most potent influences when it comes to these themes, and that's the planet Saturn. Over the course of 2024 and 25, as Saturn transits Pisces, Sherry is holding space at Embodied Astrology to help us fortify our discipline and devotion so that we can work in ways that are more authentic and aligned with our life purpose. Sherry's offerings work in cycles that include council sessions, where she invites guests to join her, along with release and rest sessions, where her focus turns inward towards the realms of breathwork and personal practice. In Virgo season, Sherry is working specifically with themes of vocation and purpose, and you can tune in with the recording of her council session with vocational astrologer Renee and integrate with her through the healing release session on September 1st. One of the most challenging experiences that many people are contending with right now is information overwhelm and uncertainty about what is real when it comes to media, information, and news. Current astrology reflects this powerfully in the transit of Neptune at the last degrees of the zodiac. In astrological symbolism, Neptune is associated with our imaginations and the power of our minds to produce feeling states that shape our perceptions of reality. Correspondingly, Neptune is also associated with created images, as we might encounter them through realms of visual media, especially photography and video. With digital manipulation and artificial intelligence becoming increasingly commonplace, it's important that we have discernment and awareness as we navigate the realms of shared information. If you're interested in exploring these themes through astrology, check out the Nebula Lab with Gabs 404. September 7th session will focus specifically on AI and its connections to imagery and visual culture. As social media and news increasingly become sites of social division and manipulation, it's essential that we build skills to contend with conflict. Astrology happens to be an amazing tool for navigating difference and conflict in creative ways that support us in seeing where and how we can work across distances towards mutual aims and efforts. As the social landscape becomes increasingly explosive and dynamic over the next months, I hope you'll consider joining us for our November series with Mars retrograde, led by Ramon Parrish, Constellations of Conflict. Ramon will use astrology to help us find healing in the realms of the internal, interpersonal, and institutional. Finally, this is a time where one of the biggest needs that many people are experiencing is trustworthy and supportive community. Since its inception, Embodied Astrology has always been about bringing people together through the language and practice of astrology. and we continue to offer nourishing and soulful communal spaces monthly and weekly. Once a month, you can join us with Janata Petrus for the Full Moon Artistic Alchemy Spaces, where she'll offer prompts and practices for working with the full moon's influences, the seasonal cycle, and your natal chart. These spaces are rich with support for sustaining through the ups and downs of life with creativity and joy. Join Janata on September 15th for the Pisces Full Moon Edition, which is sure to be an extra potent one, as that full moon is also the first lunation of this year's second season of eclipses. For weekly support, you can find me every Monday in Somatic Space, where we work with the astral influences of the week ahead through gentle and adaptive movement practices, guided meditation, breathwork, and visualization. These sessions are meant to set you up to meet the moment and cultivate mind, heart, body practices that help you align with what astrology is asking for now. Finally, for those of you ready to get offline and into dimensional space together, I hope you'll consider joining me October 24th through 27th for an on-land retreat at the Eco Dharma Center in Colorado's Rocky Mountains. Together with Ramon and Michelle Gabrieloff Parrish, we'll be exploring the intersections of astrology, embodiment, and environment. You can learn more about everything I just mentioned through the links in our show notes or at embodiedastrology.com. Last but not least, I hope that you find this work supportive, and if you do, that you will support us in turn. The best ways to do that are to subscribe, follow, like, and leave us comments, which helps our channels grow. Your one-time tips, recurring donations, and monthly memberships are so appreciated, and they sustain the production of this work. Thank you. Now, onto your horoscopes. Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Virgo season. This is a season ahead reading for all of your Gemini placements, especially Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. I'm going to go through this reading in 3 parts. First, I'm going to talk about your head and where your attention is these days. Then I'm going to feel into your heart and consider ways that you can engage with your own healing and healing in the world. And then finally, I'm going to tune in with your belly and your body and talk to you about a larger sense of purpose and how you might be in service to the greater whole at this time and in your life. So, what's practical? Your attention. What are you aware of right now? It looks to me like you are trying to set up some kind of space for yourself. The feeling that I have is that it is most practical for you to give attention to your immediate environment over Virgo season. This could be your bedroom. This could be your garden. This could be your neighborhood. This could be the space actually of your mind and your body. So think about immediate environment. Where is your consciousness located at this time? Where your consciousness is located needs your attention. Now, the attention that I feel like you want to be giving to this place is attention that is somehow in service to or in devotion with your kind of like most joyful you energy. Like, when do you feel the most you? What kind of music are you listening to? What kind of decorations do you have? What flowers have you planted? What are you doing with your day-to-day? I think that your immediate environment needs to reflect something back to you right now that feels generative and affirming to who you are at your core and in your essence. There are also definitely themes around aesthetics and beauty and style. I think that it is important for you to feel comfortable in the space that you're in, and also to be participating in beautifying and bringing some kind of aspects that contribute to a general feeling of well-being for you and for anybody who you might be sharing your space with. Over the course of Virgo season, it feels like it's good for you to experiment in these spaces, try things out, try them on. If you are sharing space with others, this is a highly collaborative period of time, and time that is asking you to work really skillfully in your relationships that might be co-designing space together by having good conversations about it, asking into preferences, experimenting together, etc. Don't get too caught up in what you think is the right way. If you're working with other people, you definitely want to allow everybody's voice to have space in the conversation. Now, if you're just attending to your own space and to your own needs, then this is definitely a time when you want to set it up exactly in the way that it suits you. But for those of you who are needing to work with others, I think that having a kind of playful approach and being open to new ideas actually might result in you finding out that you enjoy some things that maybe you didn't even know about before. All right, so when it comes to your heart and to what's healing at this time, Gemini, I feel that what is most healing for you is to really trust your path. Taking time to take stock of how you've grown and how you have come to the place where you are feels really important. This includes your victories and your failures. It includes the pain of your path as well as its joy. It feels like in some ways a kind of serious quality of time in that you need to be serious about where you're headed. Our lives are fleeting. They go by so quickly. And even without the mystery of the inevitability of when we might die, just given the fact that we're human beings on planet Earth, there's so much chaos in the world right now, and there is an immense amount of unknown. And so wherever you happen to find yourself, this is the time and this is the place for you to show up for your life. And if it's not exactly where you thought you would be 2 weeks ago or 2 decades ago or when you were a kid, oh well, this is where you are now. And if you've arrived somewhere that you planned on getting, hey, look at you, you figured it out. Whether you thought that you would be here or you didn't, whether you feel like you've attained some success or you don't, it actually doesn't matter so much. What matters right now is that you take the time to reflect on where you are and how you got here, and that you really sit with the reality that time is going to continue to pass from here on. Your time is limited, and you want to show up for the time that you have in ways that are the most meaningful to you and that really resonate very deeply with who you know you are and what it is that you know you want to give to this life. We're always growing. We're always evolving. I certainly don't expect you to know exactly who you are, and I hope that you continue to discover aspects of your being until your last breath. But it does feel like you know what is a priority, and you understand something about the impact that you want to make in the world and how you want to be perceived. There are feelings of wanting to really respect yourself, to hold your dignity, and to be seen and perceived and engaged with in the world in ways that are respectful and dignified and kind of uplift a feeling of trust in you and the choices that you've made and your capacity to be here in the ways that you are. Now, that all said, that's not always easy. And being messy, failing human beings living through a time of apocalypse, there are lots of reasons to lose our shit, to feel overwhelmed, to feel confused, to get distracted, and a lot of reasons why we might be in places that we didn't plan to be because perhaps we're just figuring out how to survive. And so it is so important right now, and this is a big part of your healing, that you let the criticism go. I think that a lot of you might come from circumstances where in your early life and foundational experiences, you learned about maybe what you needed to do to please other people. Some of you may have been given a lot of criticism or been picked on a little bit. Others of you may have grown up in environments where there were very strict rules or certain kinds of notions of what is right and what is wrong. And at this point in your life, it's feeling like some of those internalized voices that are telling you who you should be, what's right, what's wrong, where you're doing a good job, where you're doing a bad job, need to chill out. I have a feeling right now of you actually stepping in as your own inner parent or inner kind of like family group, like your inner adult, coming in to attend to your inner child and giving yourself good feedback. I fantasize a lot of the time about what would the world look like if people were really supported to be themselves in the best way possible. To me, this feels like people being seen for who they are. I wish all parents were astrologers, because an astrology chart, when it's engaged with the intention to uplift individuation and happiness of an individual, is such a great map of who a person is. So if people were really supported to be who they are, if their particular challenges and areas of fear or weakness were held with compassion, where they were given tools to attend to the places where they needed to heal or where they had insecurities, where they were given opportunities to develop and cultivate their gifts and learn what they wanted to learn, and if they were held in societies that helped them learn to be accountable in relationships and how to work through failure and disappointment and disagreement in skillful ways, wow. We would live on such an amazing, or in such an amazing experience of human potential. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world. Most of us have not had that experience on the day-to-day with our external relationships, families, or authority figures. So we have to imagine it for ourselves. So I want to invite you to imagine a circumstance where you were really held with supportive, loving reflection and community, where you got excellent feedback. And this feedback was definitely going to applaud and celebrate you when you show up with your full strength, give your biggest gifts, and are your just naturally wonderful self. But this feedback will also help you tune in with areas that still need to get developed, where maybe your impact was not what you intended it to be, etc. And in the way that this feedback was given to you, it was caring. It respected you as a human being and helped you feel into your potentials for healing and integration as you also improve. This is the kind of way that I want you to be talking to yourself right now, especially for those of you that grew up in environments where there was fear of punishment, where there was a lot of strictness, where there are really intense binaries around right and wrong, or if you felt like there was just a lot of attention on you and you kind of had to be, I don't know, like always doing the right thing or something like that. When it comes to your larger purpose, how you can be of service, and the impact, the very real presence of your body in the world at this time, Gemini, I want to say that you really want to be living according to your highest principles and truths now. You know what your purpose is the feeling that I have. And even if you aren't clear about the details of it, like, oh, it's going to be realized through that kind of job or something like that, I feel that you have a strong sense in a kind of more energetic way around how you want to be engaging with the world in a kind of bigger picture. And this feels like for a kind of far-reaching future, even over the next couple of decades. My feeling is that a lot of you are on a growth path right now. This could look like a learning path, a wisdom path. This could look like you actually being in a position where you might be teaching or guiding others. If you are in a position of leadership or power, I want to really invite you to embrace a role that allows you to be this kind of guide that I was just expressing, be a leader in the world or hold a position of power in ways that really seek to see the people who you are in connection with, to uplift their greatest gifts and to give them skillful, loving feedback when they might not be embodying their greatest gifts. This feels like a path of really broadening your understanding and your consciousness and learning to work with lots of different kinds of people, lots of different influences. Some of you might not be tuning in with these influences that I'm speaking of in the ways that I'm describing them so socially, but there may be a sense of kind of awareness of the systems that you want to be working with. These could be environmental systems, economic systems, other kinds of strategies or mappings, patterns that you see playing out in the larger world that somehow you want to participate with. In this sense of purposefulness and the ways that you can be of service here, it is so important that you are operating from a place of genuine, energetic sincerity and coherence. So if you're engaging with transformation of systems, or if you're wanting to participate in some way with large groups of people, you have got to be showing up for what you believe in ways that resonate with what you believe in. There is the potential for great detriment to you if you are acting out of alignment with what your heart knows to be true. There are lots of opportunities for us to act out of alignment in the world and to get involved with people, with projects, and with plans that feel a little off for whatever reason. So if something feels off to you, if it resonates in some kind of way, even if you don't know why, but you have a misgiving or a mistrust, it is really worth it to take your time and feel it out until you have clarity. If it's not a yes, it might not be a no, but if it's a maybe, it's a no for now. So take your time. Last thing I'm going to say is I want to invite you to tune in with the lunations over the course of this season. There's a new moon on September 2nd in Virgo and a full moon on September 17th in Pisces. Virgo and Pisces are your sibling signs. They are two signs that also occupy places on what's called the mutable cross. So Gemini and Sagittarius are the other two signs, and all of these signs express adaptability and the capacity to reflect and refine and change over time. The full moon on September 17th is an eclipse. It's the first eclipse in a series of eclipses that will take us through the beginning of 2027. And as the lunation pattern comes into Virgo and Pisces, it's resonating with the mutable cross in some really important ways. The upcoming 2.5 years are going to be a period of time that involves rapid development and growth for you. I feel that a lot of you are on a very important and quite palpable evolutionary path at this time. And the feeling that I have is almost a little bit like a slingshot, like you're about to be propelled outward and forward into your life. Now, this could look a lot of different ways depending on your circumstances and your age. And so some of you are looking forward at some really important developments in your career and thinking about what you're going to be doing in the world and with your life energy. Now, some of you may be not thinking about career. Perhaps you are retired or in a circumstance where for many reasons that might not be your area of focus. But the feeling that I have here still has a quality of feeling yourself as a kind of leader in some ways, and awareness of the ways that you are participating in legacies and lineages. There's a sense of your lasting impact that is important to consider. From now through the beginning of 2027, you are moving in this new direction, and it requires you to work skillfully with high levels of integrity. So again, not getting yourself involved in ways that you might feel even the tiniest bit off. To be skillful and have integrity in this manner requires you to move fairly slow, to employ caution and discernment, and also to really work with your best judgment and your maturity, particularly your emotional maturity. Check in with yourself when you feel a kind of way. If you feel activated or reactive over these next couple of years, you want to be taking your time to tend to yourself, breathing. Take 10 minutes and take a walk. Take 10 days and take some space. Use your journal. Talk to your friends. Have a therapist. Work with divination practices like astrology and tarot, which are often really amazing reflections that can let us know where we're moving in some kind of way that might be out of alignment, or what we need to check in on if we're feeling reactive. A lot of you have considerable impact. You might not even be aware of the impact that you have in your relationships and in the world through your presence, your basic presence, and definitely through your actions and attentions and the ways that you invest your time, your energy, and your labor. And because of the impact that you have, I'm going to say it is of the utmost importance that you are working with skill and with awareness, and that you're really seeking to integrate your actions, your behaviors, your decisions, your thoughts, your words, with your sense of kind of like greatest well-being for all, right? Your biggest prayer of what this world might look like and what it might feel for you to be in it. All right, Gemini, I'm going to leave it there. I hope any or all of that feels interesting and helpful for you. I'm wishing you all the best in Virgo season and beyond. Bye for now.